Robert Wagner has always denied that he had anything to do with his wife Natalie Wood's death. Now today, her sister Lana is here. She has vowed to never stop fighting for justice for Natalie and is coming forward demanding that Robert tell the truth once and for all.
When Natalie first met Robert, I was so young. I was 9 years old. I just remember a tall guy walking down our hallway. When Natalie and RJ were married, the wedding upset me greatly. I started crying hysterically. Natalie ran to me and said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Because I'm gonna lose you." And I guess I was right. I think the investigation was mishandled from the beginning. Things were oversimplified and ignored. Conspiracy is a bit far-fetched, but were things covered up and overlooked purposefully? I'm certain they were. I don't believe the official story because, first of all, it was changed by RJ. Natalie would not go out and attempt to tie up a dinghy. She would not attempt to get in the dinghy by herself wearing a nightgown and woolen socks. I was stunned that RJ would say something like that. I know that Natalie and RJ were fighting because the night before she had not even stayed on the Splendor. RJ denied the broken wine bottle, and then later on he said he did break a wine bottle and he was very angry and very jealous. They began to fight. She ended up in the water. The only words exchanged between RJ and myself was after Natalie's funeral. I said, "RJ, tell me what the hell happened?" And he said, "It was an accident, you've got to believe me." I absolutely believe that RJ is withholding information. I've hoped that he would man up, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
What do you think happened to Natalie that night?
They were having a very rough time with their marriage. And my assumption is, knowing Natalie and knowing her temperament, is she may have verbally pushed RJ too much. There's no doubt in my mind that he wasn't responsible for having her in the water.
Are you suggesting that he knocked her out in some way and threw her in the water? Or are you thinking, what is it you're...
It is something like that, absolutely. The first thing that was said by various people was, "Oh, well, it was the dinghy banging up against the side of the boat that troubled her, so she got up to tie it up." First of all, did you happen to notice where the dinghy is tied up when you just saw that? It wasn't at the back. Secondly, she would never do that. That's why she had Dennis. That's why they had hired a captain who was their regular full-time captain. She would not do any of that. One time RJ suggested that she left to go to a party in a nightgown with a pair of woolen socks, and his direct quote was, "She was that type of woman who enjoyed partying in her nightgown." None of it makes any sense.
When you look at the sequence of events here, there were people on that boat, and one of them is not talking to the police, and that's Robert Wagner. Why do you think he's not talking to the police?